It was a cold, foggy morning in the small town of Blackwood. The town was known for its eerie silence and the old, crumbling mansion that stood on the hill. The mansion belonged to the wealthy Blackwood family, who had lived there for generations. But now, only one member of the family remained, Mr. Edward Blackwood, a reclusive old man who rarely left his home. The town was shaken when news spread that Mr. Blackwood's young niece, Isabella, had gone missing. Isabella was a mysterious girl, known for her dragon tattoo that covered her left arm. She had come to live with her uncle a year ago, after her parents died in a tragic accident. The townspeople whispered that the Blackwood family was cursed, and Isabella's disappearance only added to the rumors. The local police were clueless. They had searched the mansion and the surrounding woods, but found no trace of Isabella. That's when they decided to call in Detective James Carter, a famous investigator known for solving the most complicated cases. Detective Carter arrived in Blackwood on a gloomy afternoon. He was a tall, sharp-eyed man with a calm demeanor. His first stop was the Blackwood mansion. The mansion was as dark and foreboding as the rumors suggested. The walls were lined with portraits of the Blackwood ancestors, their eyes seeming to follow him as he walked through the halls. Mr. Edward Blackwood greeted the detective in the study. He was a frail man with a nervous twitch in his eye. "I don't know where she is," he said, his voice trembling. Isabella was a quiet girl, but she wouldn't just disappear like this. Something terrible must have happened to her. Detective Carter asked for Isabella's room. Mr. Blackwood led him to a small, dusty room on the second floor. The room was neat, but there were signs of a struggle: a broken vase, a torn curtain, and a few drops of blood on the floor. Carter noticed something else: a small, leather-bound diary lying on the desk. He opened the diary and began to read. Isabella had written about her life in the mansion, her loneliness, and her fear of her uncle. She mentioned a secret passage in the mansion that led to an underground tunnel. The last entry was written on the night she'd disappeared. "I found something today. Something I wasn't supposed to see. If anything happens to me, it's because of the dragon's secret." Detective Carter's curiosity was piqued. He asked Mr. Blackwood about the secret passage, but the old man denied any knowledge of it. Carter decided to search the mansion himself. After hours of searching, he found a hidden door behind a bookshelf in the study. The door led to a narrow staircase that descended into darkness. Carter followed the staircase, his flashlight cutting through the thick shadows. The tunnel was damp and cold, and the air was heavy with the smell of earth. After walking for what felt like miles, he reached a large underground chamber. The chamber was filled with strange artifacts, ancient books, old paintings, and a large, ornate chest. In the center of the chamber was a stone pedestal, and on it lay a small, intricately carved dragon statue. Carter noticed that the statue's eyes were made of glowing red stones. He picked it up and examined it closely. As he did, he heard a faint click, and the pedestal began to move, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside the compartment was a stack of old letters and a photograph. The photograph showed a young Edward Blackwood standing next to a man who looked exactly like him. The letters revealed a shocking truth. Edward had a twin brother, Victor, who had been presumed dead for years. Victor had been involved in illegal activities, and Edward had covered up his crimes to protect the family name. Carter realized that Isabella must have discovered the secret and confronted her uncle. But where was she now? As he pondered this, he heard a faint sound coming from the other side of the chamber. He followed the sound and found a small, hidden door. Behind the door was a tiny room, and inside was Isabella. She was alive, but weak, her dragon tattoo peeking out from under her torn sleeve. "I knew someone would find me," she whispered. "My uncle," He locked me here when I found out about Victor. He said he couldn't let the secret get out. Detective Carter helped Isabella out of the chamber and back to the mansion. He confronted Mr. Blackwood with the evidence, and the old man broke down, confessing to everything. He had locked Isabella away to protect the family's dark secret, but he never meant to hurt her. The case was solved, and Isabella was safe. As Detective Carter left Blackwood, he couldn't help but think about the dragon's secret and the mysteries that still lay hidden in the old mansion.